Distributive property of multiplication. So this is where we're going to break up or break apart the multiplication facts um, into sums so that we can then, so what we're going to do is first is we're going to break it apart, then we're going to multiply, and then we're going to add them back together. So we're going to do that on every single time that we do this. So ready? So use a dry erase board or a paper to follow along with the video. All right, so 2 times 4. So I'm going to leave my 2. My 2 is going to stay the same. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break apart my 4. So I'm going to break apart the 4 into a 2 and a 2. So I'm breaking this apart into a 2 and a 2 because this side over here is going to stay the same. So I'm going to say 2 plus 2. So now I'm going to write it as a multiplication. 2 times 2. So that 2 has to talk to that 2. That 2 also has to talk to that other 2. So 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. And now I'm going to add them back together. So first I'm going to break them apart, multiply, and then add them back together. 4 plus 4 is 8. Let's try another one. Okay, so this is 3 times 5. I'm going to leave my 3 alone. I'm going to break apart the 5. And I'm going to break the part of 5 into a 2 and a 3. Okay, so now I'm going to have a 2 and a 3. This 3 has to talk to that 2. So 3 times 2. And then the 3 has to talk to the other 3. So 3 times 3. Okay, again, this is my first step. Break it apart. Second step, I'm going to multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. And 6 plus 9 is 15. And that's my third step. Okay, is add it back together. Let's try another one. Again, break it apart. I'm going to leave one of the 5s the same. I'm going to break apart another one of the 5s into a 2 and a 3. 2 and a 3. And so I'm going to say 5 times 2 because I have to do that first one. And then 5 times 3. Remember that 5 is going to talk to both of those numbers. So first I broke it apart. Now I'm going to step 2, multiply. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 10 plus 15, step 3, add it back together. 10 plus 15 is 25. All right, let's look at the next one. And the reason why we're breaking it apart, we're breaking numbers apart to make it easier to work with them. And then we add them back together when we are done. So we're going to break apart this, we're going to leave the 8. We're going to break apart the 4. So we're going to break out the 4 into a 2 and a 2. So 2 times 8, 2 times 8. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 8 is 16. Now I'm going to add them back together. 16 plus 16 is 32. So my answer is 32. Let's try another one. Okay, I'm going to use the distributive property. So I don't have an array, and I can draw an array if I want to, or I can just do the next step. And the next step is that I'm going to multiply, right? The 5 times 2 and 5 times 5 because it's got to talk to this number and it also has to talk to this number. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 plus 10 is 35. Okay, so my answer here is 35. And this is actually saying 5 times 7 because this would represent 7. Let's try another one. 2 times 6 is equal to 2 times what number? Well, if I break apart that 6, because I can see that they left the 2 the same. If I break apart that 6, and I know I have 1 there, this has to be a 5, because 5 plus 1 is 6. So that's what I'm going to do, is going to put a 5 there. And this is actually saying 2 times 6. And this is saying 2 times 6. Again, I'm going to use the distributive property to find the product. So remember, this 4 has to talk to the 5, and it also has to talk to the 2. So 4 times 5 plus 4 times 2. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 2 is 8. 20 plus 8 is 28. All right, let's use this again. Fill in. Well, I know that this is a 3, and 2 plus 1 is 3. All right, pause the video and complete the exit ticket.